So I think what people are struggling with the most is they want to do a lot and can't, for two major reasons. One is the software they're using. Usually, it's just very legacy software. It's limited. It's limiting them in a way. So, I've had companies that said, yeah, so we want to have our subscription model. We want it to work where user gets three, let's say, free articles, and then after that, they have to enter their email, and then after that, they get access to two more free articles, and then after that, they have to pay, and then that's it.
Okay.
You have two options if you actually want to build this out right now in the entire market, right? And this is one relatively easy example. You could either build this from scratch, or you could go with a company that actually gives you the ability to do that. If you build it from scratch, it's going to be usually way too expensive. And the problem is companies used to love to build stuff in-house, and in a lot of cases it still makes sense to build it if like your business is relying on it a lot and you have the technical capabilities. But the problem is it requires a ton of maintenance. There's always updates. You end up having a team, right? You end up having to
Right.
build a huge team. What was it? I'm gonna misremember this, but it was the New York Times, I think, that had spent um, in the millions of dollars just developing it because they were on kind of their own cutting edge in the publishing space of
Wow.
building paywalls and structures. They've spent way too much and spent a ton of time building that. The problem is when this isn't your core competency, when you're not a technology company, when you don't have the resources or the people for that. And it's already challenging, right,
Yeah.
in terms of development space and getting the right people in
Yeah.
place. Tech companies that are spending billions trying to get the right talent are having a difficult time.
Yeah. Do
So
you think a lot of people underestimate like how big the job is?
100%. It's the details, right? Like, look, we're supposed to have a comprehensive platform,
Yeah.
and inevitably, we know clients are going to request things that aren't there, or prospects are going to request things that aren't there, and we know that, and we're going to adapt to it, and that's how we improve it. But no matter what, right? Look how long we've been. It's been a little over 5 years now, with how many resources put
Yeah.
into this, and this is all we do, right? We eat, sleep,
Yeah.
breathe focused on driving subscriptions and memberships and donations and effectively creating flows for users. And this is a full-time job for how many people, so I do think people underestimate it, but it's a normal cycle, right? when
Yeah.
when DMPs came out and like the Google ad servers came out, pre Google ad servers, everyone was focused on, can we build this ourselves? And some companies still do. And some companies used to have their own email service provider, but how many actually do right now? Especially as
Yeah. It's
technology,
about evaluating if it's worth it, you know?
it never is, right? Because you
And
can't
what's your
manage this.
return on your investment and how long is it going to take you to, make that back?
Exactly. And can you even build it, right? This requires a whole other skill set.
Yeah.
Because now, are you building a product, or are you fully developing a full-fledged product to sell a whole other product? Now you're creating more layers for yourself. But anyways, that's the build, and I think this the build argument has really, I haven't been hearing it a lot in the last few years. I think people have realized how complicated,
Okay.
the
What's
subscription.
something you're hearing nowadays?
So now the other option they have is then relying on a platform, and the challenge is not a lot of platforms are capable of adapting to these, or they're a bit too expensive for some of the clients, and it's just that draw between customization and structure